What is the vagus nerve and why is it important for you to understand it? The vagus nerve is the 10th and longest cranial nerve that runs from your brainstem all the way down to your colon. It has tons of little branches that connect and innervate all of your vital organs. It is constantly sending information from those organs to your brain and then from your brain back to your body. It's like a little tree with an intricate root system throughout your body. Vagus comes from the Latin word vagrant, meaning wandering. So this nerve is essentially a cranial nerve that wanders throughout your entire body, assisting in the regulation of your nervous system. It has sensory and motor functions. Sensory meaning that the nerve carries signals from our sensory organs to help the brain with things like touch, taste, smell, sight, the senses. And it has motor neurons that signal to our muscles and glands to move or function in a certain way. The nerve makes up a huge part of regulating your autonomic nervous system. Basic functions like breathing, heart rate, digestion, blood pressure, hormone regulation, all have a home in the function of your vagus nerve. It makes up 75 to 80% of your parasympathetic nervous system. By toning the vagus nerve, it helps us to reset from our stress responses. Research has shown that our vagus nerve cells are 80% afferent, meaning that 80% of the information they send is information from the body to the brain. And we have learned that the body sends physiological responses to the brain, and then the brain begins to create thoughts or a narrative around the information that's being processed by the body. And it begins to create a narrative about what is happening as a result of what the body is feeling. Vagal tone is the measurement of the health of your vagus nerve. High vagal tone is a good thing, means that the vagus nerve is active and functioning properly. It is sending information from the body to the brain that is promoting balance and an overall well-being. When we have high vagal tone, this is correlated with having better emotional regulation, stable energy levels, higher stress tolerance, meaning that we don't really lose our cool very easily, and having optimal digestion and overall improved mental and physical health. Low vagal tone refers to a state in which the vagus nerve is not very active or functioning properly. It is not sending signals to the body or brain in an efficient way. It looks like poor stress management, increased reactivity, hormone imbalances, digestion issues, anxiety, and depression, among many other physical and mental health issues. Heart rate variability measures vagal tone. This is the variability in the time between your heartbeats. Your Apple Watch or Fitbit, or if you have an Oura Ring, these things might measure this heart rate variability within yourself. You can also determine your vagal tone by looking at symptom clusters. Your vagal tone might be high if you have an ability to regulate your emotions effectively, stable energy throughout the day, if you feel like you can handle stress fairly easily, your digestion is good, among many other things. It might be low if you have poor stress management, increased reactivity, hormone imbalances, struggle with autoimmune conditions, symptoms of anxiety or depression, having digestive issues, having a hard time focusing, or experiencing big fluctuations in your energy throughout the day, or chronically low energy. Vagal tone is adaptable. So toning your vagus nerve has profound impacts on your mental and physical health. Just because your vagus nerve might be in a certain state right now, it does not mean that it is sentenced to be there forever. It is adaptable. You can change the tone of your vagus nerve. So just as you would require strong muscle tone to lift heavy things, it's really helpful to have strong vagal tone to manage the heaviness of the stress in our lives. Building vagal tone is similar to building muscle. It is done through repetition and consistency. Chronic stress and trauma are the most common contributors to low vagal tone. Prolonged exposure to stress can lead to an overactivation of your sympathetic nervous system. This inhibits the vagus nerve from turning on or being activated because the body thinks it's in a chronic state of stress. And when the body's in a state of stress, it doesn't feel that there is any time to relax and unwind. Animals tend to release excess energy by shaking or breathing out the stored response. If you ever notice dogs playing or animals chasing and they shake or they snort or breathe heavily afterwards, that's them somatically releasing the stored energy that was not used in their experience. When humans do not actively release the stress, we collect that potential energy of that emotion and it gets stored in the body, which leads to dis-ease and decreases our resiliency to stress. Childhood experiences affect our vagal tone, whether you experienced injury or illnesses, and even your mother's stress levels while you were in utero. Research has shown that the mother's stress level, especially during the second trimester of pregnancy, may influence the development of the baby's autonomic nervous system. High stress for the mother results in lower vagal tone for the child. Lifestyle factors are the number one thing to focus on to manage your vagal tone. Sleep being a priority. Sleep deprivation or consistent low quality sleep contributes to low vagal tone. When you increase your vagal tone, you can improve your sleep quality. Physical activity. Low levels of physical activity are associated with low vagal tone. Increasing physical activity significantly improves vagal tone. Food. What are you ingesting? What we eat impacts our vagal tone. Highly inflammatory foods like oils, hydrogenated sugars, and processed foods can impair aspects of the vagal nerve signaling, which decreases vagal tone. Improving your gut health and eating more nutritionally dense foods improves your vagal tone. Posture. Poor posture can negatively impact nerve blood flow and can compress the vagus nerve and various organs that the nerve innervates and can decrease activity of the vagus nerve. Stress, the leading cause of low vagal tone for most people, whether this is relational, environmental, visual, auditory, whatever it might be that's causing you stress in your environment, it is imperative that you begin to manage these stressful factors in your environment so that you can improve your vagal tone. So, how to improve your vagal tone? It is a gradual process that requires consistency and lifestyle changes. We can do it manually through self-massage of the ears, neck, or eyes. Humming, singing, or gargling is also an excellent way to stimulate the vagus nerve, as it has a lot of nerve endings in the throat. Cold exposure, whether that is a cold shower or a face immersion in an ice bath. Diaphragmatic breathing, which is really just deep, slow belly breaths, breathing past your lungs and down into your diaphragm, seeing your stomach expand as you inhale and deflate as you exhale. The VU breath, which is simply just making the VU sound as you exhale and inviting that sound to come directly from your belly, from your gut. Sounds something like this. You can do this as many times as you'd like and extend that VU as long as possible. Making small changes to improve gut health, getting more physical exercise and sunlight are also ways to improve your vagal tone. The vagus nerve is one of the most vital nerves in the entire human body because it is the secret weapon for fighting stress. There's no such thing as hacking your vagal nerve back to peace. Creating a healthier vagal tone requires consistency in practices to activate your vagus nerve and creating a healthier environment to exist in. I invite you to pick one practice, the one that feels the easiest to integrate into your life, and commit to employing this practice daily, if not multiple times per day. Check out my other videos on ways to improve your vagal tone or vagal nerve toning exercises. Thank you and happy regulating.